Now that the spring market is here, more and more buyers are jumping back into the market, and competition's really heating up. If you're serious about landing that home that you love, you need more than just a wish list. You need a smart strategy, and that starts with putting together a strong offer. So in today's video, I want to share with you 4 tips that I'm using with my buyer clients to help them stand out and win in today's market. And we're getting after it right now. This is your first time to the channel and you want to keep on top of the real estate market in Richmond, Virginia and those surrounding counties of Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, New Kent, Goochland, and Powhatan, then subscribe there right below and tap that notifications bell so you can be the first to know about the current market in Richmond, Virginia. So your likes and subscribes help me grow the channel, and I can't even tell you how much I appreciate them. My goal this year is to get the channel to over 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to reach this goal. So thank you in advance for your support. So as always, my name is Scott Dernley with Joyner Fine Properties. My team and I get calls from folks like you every single day looking for help making the move to Richmond, Virginia or moving within Richmond, Virginia, and we absolutely love it. So give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All of that information is linked right there in the description below so we can help you make a smooth move to Richmond, Virginia. So jumping right into it, tip number 1 is don't lowball on the price. Now it's tempting to start with a super low offer in an attempt to save some money, but in the competitive spring market, that could backfire on you. If your price isn't reasonable, you could offend the seller and lose out to a better bid. As NerdWallet says, quote, gonna be a lot of quotes today, if you really want the property, you should avoid offending the seller. So be wary of placing a so-called lowball offer. One of the most obvious risks of a lowball offer is outright rejection. As a buyer, you'll need to find the balance between making a fair offer and running the risk of losing the property. Now, this quote is true, and I have personally seen it more times than I would like to admit. Now, I can help you understand local pricing trends and what is a fair yet strong offer to put on a property that you're interested in. So number 2 is consider an escalation clause. We're seeing these again. So if you're worried about competing bids, an escalation clause can help. If you have an escalation clause, the seller gets another offer, it increases your offer up to a certain max amount that you set. That way you don't lose out over a small difference. Investopedia explains it like this, end quote, an escalation clause is a way to automatically escalate your bid to a certain dollar amount up to a certain ceiling to compete with other bids. Now, I can help you decide if this is a tactic that fits your situation and budget. Just be sure not to stretch beyond what you're truly comfortable spending with on that top end, and the home has to seem likely to appraise for that amount that you're escalating up to. So one other caveat is some sellers will ask for offers to be highest and best, and they will not accept escalation clauses. That doesn't happen all that often, but I have absolutely seen that request from sellers. So another thing to consider is if the appraisal comes in lower than your offer, you may have to make up the difference out of pocket. But I can help you weigh all these risks and determine the best approach for your specific situation. So on to tip number 3, and that's being intentional about the concessions that you're asking for. While some concessions like help with closing costs might be possible, to make too many demands could make another buyer's cleaner offer a bit more attractive. As the National Association of Realtors notes, quote, there are many factors up for discussion in a real estate transaction, from price to repairs to possession date. A real estate professional who's representing you will look at the transaction from your perspective, helping you negotiate a purchase agreement that meets your needs. So, I know what's working for my buyer clients right now, and I can help you prioritize the most important asks that you want to put in the contract and avoid the ones that could turn off the seller. Last but not least is consider a time frame that appeals to the seller. Sometimes it's not all about price, it's about timing. Does the seller need extra time to move out? Or do they want to move as fastly as they can, as quick as possible? Flexibility here can work in your favor. By adjusting your timeline, if you're able to do it, you could stand out against other offers. Now, according to the moving experts Atlas Van Lines, quote, everyone will have a unique timeline depending on size of the move, the distance they are moving to or from, and personal preferences. It's important to be flexible and adapt the timeline as needed while ensuring you allocate enough time for each step. Unquote. Now, I am always going to communicate with that listing agent if I'm working for you as a buyer to find out what matters most to their seller, including timing. Very important. So thank you for tuning in to today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I always like to cut through the noise and let folks know what I think is really going on in the market. So linked in the description below, I have 3 absolutely free gifts for you. First, there is a Richmond, Virginia relocation guide. You must like watching videos about housing in Richmond, Virginia, or you wouldn't be on this channel. But it's also nice sometimes to have something you can flip through in your spare time, click on things, and learn more about RVA. So it is chocked full of great information, and it's a must download. So gift number 2 is a free buyer's guide. This walks you through the buying process with things like your timeline, setting a budget, how your agent gets paid, creating a wish list, the pre-approval process, what happens between contract and closing, and much more. Again, tons of great information in here for you. Now, last but not least, number 3. We know when people move, oftentimes they have to sell in their current location, so I have a seller's guide for you. This handy-dandy resource is pretty specific on how I do things, but it covers prepping your home for sale, general timelines, what agents should be doing to market your home. That's so important, proper marketing, what happens from contract to close, and again, much, much more. So here's the bottom line. I always like to tell it like it is here at the end. Spring is here and more buyers are entering the market. So let's work together to make sure your offer stands out. So what's the one thing you want to feel confident about before making an offer this spring? I am always available to talk. So give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. Again, all of that information is linked right there in that description below. And until next time, I hope to show you around town. Have a great day, folks.